rockets in Ukraine were suspected to be able to reach Moscow, and that was one of the first reasons which disturbed Putin. The other reason why Putin wanted to take that land was several reasons. Another reason was because the president of Ukraine was a comedian, and he made, before there was any war, he made a joke. It was more like a threat than a joke. He threatened Putin in a joke, and Putin's had an emotional reaction to that. He's took it not as a joke against him, as a threat. Not only that, the Mandela effects, if you research it, where people have different memories, there's a Mandela effect where the border of Russia was different, and the border of Ukraine and Russia is more towards Moscow, and it never used to be that close. A lot of people in them countries up there say that they woke up one day in Russia, or they woke up one day in a country, because the borders had changed overnight as a Mandela effect, if you believe in all that stuff. What is the Matrix? Well, the Matrix is basically the principle of science which says that all things are spiritual. The sky and the trees and the stars and the animals and the plants and the air is spiritual, meaning that they're not physical. They just only appear physical, but in reality, scientifically, there is nothing physical. It's only made up of atoms, and what's smaller than atoms is electrons and protons and things. And what's smaller than that? There's something smaller than the electron and the proton and all that, which is just pure energy at the smallest level with a super powerful microscope. In the olden days, the microscopes were very weak, and they could only see an atom, and they said, oh well, the atom's the smallest thing, like a building block. But no, then we got more powerful microscopes and found out that there's something more smaller than the atom, protons, all that stuff. And then, that was when I was in school, and then they made a more powerful microscope which said, oh wait a minute, there's something smaller than the protons and electrons and that. There's something smaller than that. It's just a lot of empty space and like waveform energy. So everything's made out of energy. The sun, the moon, the sky, the stars, us, animals, everything you see or you think you see is mainly, even a brick wall, is mainly empty space. That's how radio waves can travel through a brick wall. That's how your internet connection and radio waves can travel through a solid brick wall, because that brick wall is not solid. It's mainly made out of the thing that atoms are mainly made out of, empty space. And in them, the majority of them is just waveform energy. So everything's made out of energy. Or another way to say it is everything is made out of spiritual stuff, or everything's made out of energy, and it just appears to be physical. So the root cause of all things is a spiritual cause. But that's my opinion. There's a lot more to it than that. But anyway, so if we're living in a matrix, then all these things are possible. Define what do you mean by matrix. Matrix just means basically that what appears to be physical is really just energy, and made up mainly, majority of holes and non-solid energy, moving fast, and then around that is protons and electrons and an atom and all that stuff. That's what it's actually is. Everything's made out of that stuff. Energy, mainly empty spaces and energy and stuff, protons and atoms whirling round. That's what things are really made out of. But we don't see it like that. We see it as brick walls and trees and people, and it looks real to us, just like a computer game. Just like you get these, Nintendo 64, that GoldenEye, and Then you got the before that there was the Amiga one with them caveman games, and then there was the Street Fighters, and there was all them games. And now you've got the PlayStation 1, Rayman, Driver, Xbox. Then you've got the Xboxes, 360 and beyond, and you're getting more and more and more realistic computers until you get to the point where you can't tell the difference between a computer or virtual reality and reality. It becomes like, which is the computer game and which is reality? Because computer games are the realistic ones. And even when I used to play Tekken on PS1, in the days, you didn't see the triangles at all. It looked perfectly realistic. I just don't know, just the way the brain interprets things. But the more realistic the computer games are, it's like reality. But you know it's not real, really. You know it's just all bits of atoms and squares you can't even see, they're so small, and things you can't even see, they're so small, it just makes it look real, appears real, but it's not. It's illusion. And if that's the reality we live in, then that's called, in other words, that's called the Matrix. So what you're saying, both virtual reality, computer games, and reality are both just computer games. Well, what about that man who can put his hand through a solid brick wall? As a guy who can put his hand, he's learnt to meditate so much and change his inner belief system, get rid of his limiting beliefs, and he can put his hand through a solid granite wall, rock, his arm. Why? Because he just knows that there is no wall. It's like the Matrix. There is no spoon. Anyway, what's happened to Putin? So thoughts affect other people's thinking. So look at this map behind Putin. Oh, what is this map? And where is this picture from? Firstly, I would like to say that this is a real picture, by the way, of Putin and the map behind him. Obviously, I've put some hair on him and a cigar and such and such and such. But that is a real picture. I'll tell you where I got the picture from as well. I got the the Matrix background. I got that from free images on Pixabay. I'll tell you who gave me that picture as well. So basically, that's a real picture of Putin sat behind a real map. And the strangest thing is, I'm not saying the world's flat or orange or round or pumpkin shape or inverted or whatever, or a matrix. All I'm saying is, I'm not even saying that the world is a matrix. Everyone has the right to believe what they believe, because you can't change what someone believes. No more than you can change the leopards on a spot thing. Anyway, basically, why is Putin, and I'm not saying the world's flat at all, I don't care what shape it is, it's none of my concern. It's all about quality of life and being kind. I don't care if we're in the star system or I don't care where we are. The fact of the matter is, life's not so bad. The fact of the matter is, look at that map. To me, personally, that looks, look at the map. What map is that? Well, I'll tell you something more about the map after. Very fascinating. But I've highlighted the main place in a green circle where the boundaries of where the main part of Russia is. Now, as a Mandela effect, whether you believe in Mandela effects or not, it's very interesting to know that as a Mandela effect says that the past, memories of the past and certain people change. So therefore, it's a bit like saying people can alter information, like history books and such, and then when we look at them history books, we get a different history. We read a different history from the book, history books. So basically, a lot of people are saying one Mandela effect is that the border of Russia used to be basically Russia is bigger now than it ever was before. The space of Russia, the territory of Russia is, in my opinion, bigger now than it ever was before in my personal memory. And then you look at Because I believe it is a Mandela effect that Russia used to be bigger than it is now. And that's the thing that has tipped Putin over the edge. Because now there is a false memory in history books and in certain people that Russia in the Soviet Union used to include Ukraine and all these other countries, and that's Putin's looked at these history books because he madly, obsessively studies the so-called history of Russia and the Soviet Union, all that hammer and sickle, which stands for working and hammering away. And do you know what? He's looked at that history books and there's two things, yeah? There's the left side of the brain and there's the right side of the brain. If you ever do anything silly, you're just using your emotions. Classical music is supposed to harmonize the left and right side of the brain when you're making a decision, because he's obviously got emotional. That guy, comedian who's riled him up, is triggered him. The Ukrainian president has triggered Putin, obviously, but other factors have also emotionally triggered Putin to do these things. One of them is the history of the Soviet Union, of the Russia, is that according to the changed history books, Mandela-affected history books, and Mandela-affected things, now it says as a Mandela effect that Ukraine and all these other countries surrounding Russia used to belong to the Soviet Union. Now, I'm not from that reality. I'm from the reality where, according to the history books that I read, before they were Mandela affected, before they were changed or changed, the history books all used to say that all these countries around Russia, they would never belong to the Soviet Union, never ever did. Even Alaska never ever ever belonged to Russia. In my past reality that I remember, because I was like, my brother's a historian. So, and now you've got a Mandela effect that even Alaska used to belong to Russia. Now it never did, but it's as a Mandela effect. They're now saying it did, but it never did. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Or I'm just chatting. I remember there's that UFC fighter called Habib something. Habib. He used to live in the location where he lives. I recall that was a different country. I can't remember the name of the country, not Czechia or whatever country that was. And then one night, overnight, the Mandela effect changed the borders, and whatever country he was living in became part of Russia overnight, without any warfare, without any fighting, just a Mandela effect. So it added that territory, that country, to Russia over one night as a Mandela effect. I recall that distinctly. But those people who do not see Mandela effects, they won't know what you're talking about, because they just have implanted memories in their brains that the past was as it is. Do you understand? So anyway, that's basically the juice is this. The juice is this. The Mandela effects or something has made Putin believe that Alaska, Ukraine, and these other countries, including many places around Russia, it's made him believe that they used to belong to the Soviet Union, that they used to belong to Russia, and therefore it's made him like a honey badger with his back towards the cave. He's made him threatened. It's made him feel like his country's being eaten away by the surrounding countries are trying to take bits of Russia and make them into their own countries, and he's getting scared like a badger, like a bear backed up in a cave. He's like, wow. He's like, they want to take pieces of Russia and usurp it, and he's like, but that's not the case. That's never happened in my reality, in my history. Now Russia is bigger, as I said, than ever before. But if you look at history books now, it says the opposite. It says that, according to many other people's memories, we've got conflicting memories, basically. And now he feels backed into a corner. He feels like they're trying to dismantle Russia, and he has to be the hero and save it. well, he's not a hero, but he has to save it. So he's come to these conclusions that everyone's against him, when might not be. So basically, the command has got to him. The command from over here has got to him. Basically, emotion. When you react and are triggered by emotions, you haven't done enough EFT, emotional tapping, freedom stuff. If you got too much, if you're triggered by emotions, wham! These are silly decisions he's making because his logic has gone out of the window. Whoosh! And his brain's gone with it. Whoosh! I was just yesterday watching a program. I feel so sorry for these walruses and these seals. The male walruses, they'll just all of them at once. They'll chase the seal down to mate with it, to try and mate with it, and that's just pure instinct and pure emotion. There's no logic in it, and you've got to use your game, your talking, your patience, and your game, and your comfort building with the females. You can't just be lusting. And Putin's now lusting for the lost Grail cross relic, the lost empire of the Soviet Union. His heart's in it. His heart is saying, "Oh, I want my Soviet Union back and stronger than ever, strong as it used to be." But he's never been stronger. He doesn't realise. It's a bit like saying, appreciate what you've got. The best way to appreciate, I find, the best way to appreciate what you've got is just pretend you're on the Day of Judgment, Day of Resurrection, or pretend you're dead in the grave or something. And when you wake up in bed, pretend you've just been brought back to life and you've been sent back to the world and you're with your family or your friends, or you can see the sunlight and you can go out and see the trees. How wonderful does that feel to be alive again? Well, that's how he should be grateful, but he's not. He's still lusting and wanting and needing and expecting and wanting and needing. Wanting and needing is not good. Whatever people want, they don't get. What you want more of. So wanting and needing the old Soviet Union to be big and strong as it ever could be. He just wants that, doesn't he, basically? Hitler was definitely more mad, because obviously I understand what happened to Hitler, kind of empathise slightly with it, because Hitler was like a decent artist, and obviously when they told him that you're not going to be a professional artist, well, who could blame him for taking revenge on everyone, for not letting him be a professional artist? Oh, you're not like Leonardo da Vinci, you're not a very good artist, you're not like these other Pablo Picasso, you're not a good artist, they said to him. You'll never become an artist. And obviously he's took a reaction to that and said, look, if I can't be an artist, then I'm going to ruin all your lives as well. And that's what Hitler did. That's where his motivations come from. But Putin's not wired. Putin's not the same. He's different. And I don't like Hitler, by the way, but I do say full respect to Jews. I must respect the Jews at all time, because if you want to get along in this life, you must respect the Jews. And they're very good people, excellent people. They are blessed people, well, kind of. And I'll tell you one thing good about the Jews. That's no joke. They have money. And if you want to know how to make money, I had a friend and he had no money. He used to carry wardrobes on his back from town to town and sell them. Made him very, 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 very big and strong. He was the size of a wardrobe himself. He was like almost 8 foot tall and about 3 foot wide. Massive guy, barrel chest, everything. But he didn't have a lot of money. And then he wanted to know how to make money, so he did the logical thing and he asked the Jewish people how to make money, because they were making money. And he said, just teach me how to make money. And they said we have some Jewish principles to help you make money. One Jewish principle they told him was to do a prayer on the Jewish New Year for a certain amount of money. And the other thing they told him was to give a load of sleeping bags or food or a huge amount of money to the poor directly from your hand to theirs. Give them some coats, some jackets, some things, because you've got to give a lot of. In Arabic, it's called sadaqah, or in Hebrew, it's called sadaqah, and it means giving a lot of stuff, a huge amount of stuff to directly to the poor people or broke people, and eventually, according to Jewish people, that you will, if you start a business, it will do well if you give enough things to the broke people. If you build some wells, you help the people out somehow, and then you start a business, according to Jewish principles, your business should absolutely boom and thrive if you're doing enough charity work, helping enough homeless people directly, giving them directly huge tons of money, or give them sleeping bags, give them jackets, give them coats, whatever. So there's nothing wrong with the Jewish people. Actually, they're not bad. I know I'm not a great talker. I know that, but it's the information I'm telling you. My voice might be imperfect. Yeah, I'm sorting it out. Why? What's up? Look after yourself. Okay, what we're talking about. So basically, I was saying, if you want to know a specific thing in life, ask the person who's got that. Sometimes shyness is your worst enemy, because sometimes there's a millionaire, and the best person to ask how to get wealthy is probably that guy. Or sometimes there's a guy who's got a wife, probably ask him, how did you do that? Or how can I do it? Or someone's got something, handbag, something, you're probably best asking them how they got it, because they've actually achieved it. So it's even if the voice isn't nice, blah blah blah, but at least they're probably a good place to start. But how can we help the people of Ukraine? Well, I'm not saying to do this, but you probably heard it here first. And the thing to help the people of Ukraine might just be, and you can tell I have a lot of, I'm not a clairvoyant as such. I'm not saying I'm not a clairvoyant, but how did I come across this knowledge? Well, I must be well informed somehow, if not by physical beings, by people, or somehow I'm well informed on certain issues, which to other people looks crazy, because if it's not conforming to their knowledge, it looks crazy. But how can we help the people of the Ukraine, regardless of their religion, regardless of the light yellow skins and whatever? How can we help the people of Ukraine? My opinion would be, if you're a good person, you are a kind, considerate person, comfort building, nice, considerate person, only then might suggest to go on Facebook. And you heard it here first. Don't forget, please don't mention me when you're telling all your friends, oh, go on Facebook and contact them and write to them. I heard it on Conspiracy Club. Me, better not get me in trouble. Right, what to do? I don't know if you should mention me or not, but you'll see that green line that's come up behind Putin. Now that green line is the Antarctica. Now, very important. Why is the Antarctica the biggest country on that map? Now, and the longest one? Because it wraps on that map, the Antarctica wraps around all the countries. From America all the way through South America, all the way under Putin's head and face, all the way under Africa, all the way under Asia, and so on, all the way back to America. Because on that map, the Antarctica, which is highlighted with a green highlight there, if you can see the green highlight, Antarctica on that map wraps around all our countries like a ring. But I wouldn't recommend, unless you're a very, 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 very good, kind, considerate, law-abiding, good citizen, to go on Facebook, and I wouldn't recommend this, but to go on Facebook, to type in a place in the Ukraine, and to type in a specific name, any name of any people, like a Ukrainian name, type that in. such and such, like Sarah from Kiev, or Sarah from Odessa, or John from Odessa, or whatever their names are, and it'll come up on Facebook with a list of hundreds of people from that place in the Ukraine. And then you can click on that on Facebook, and you can copy and paste the message and send it to them. And if they reply to you, you can tell them if they're stuck in the Ukraine, that they can, you can talk to them and give them hope, and you can tell them to start walking with a sleeping bag and some warm supplies and food, and as many warm clothes as they can. Start walking out of the country, across the mountains, and keep on talking to them and get them to walk to your country. Then you can look after them. Maybe you can give them some free accommodation or some food, or look after them. Get them to evacuate that country is a possible thing. You can talk to them on Facebook, and that's just a suggestion and an idea to talk to them on Facebook. Comes from Conspiracy Club, but also I must say that Conspiracy Club also recommends that if you are a bad person, if you are a naughty person, if you intend to do naughty things with these Ukrainian people, then don't contact them. Don't contact them on Facebook, and don't tell them to evacuate and come to live at your house. Get it sorted. It's sorted. Alright, so what to do? You're not in trouble. You're perfectly legal what you're saying here. Now look at that bright highlighted line. I've highlighted that line of Antarctica in a green highlighter. And it stretches all the way from the right of the map, all the way behind Putin's back, past them two circles, and past under South Africa and Asia and everything. Look, it's almost touching Asia. It's almost touching. On this map, it's quite close to Asia. It's quite close to South America. Look at that. That's the Antarctic. And the Antarctic, don't forget, is a physical landmass. It's got rocks and mountains and such, and rivers. And it is like where the ice wall, the big wall covered in ice, is. I have many videos on the Antarctica maps. One video such as the navigator who crossed the ice wall, and other such videos on Antarctica and different countries and things. Just building your conspiracy knowledge up, which is obviously conspiracy knowledge is actually opposite to what they teach you in textbooks in schools. So you may at first have some kind of like, what's he teaching us? Well, I'm not teaching you anything, because only you can teach yourself stuff, because all knowledge comes from internal. Something tells you in your gut. If you've got healthy bacteria in your gut, something tells you should tell you what's right or wrong. So back to the thing. Why is Putin sat behind a map of the flat Earth? I'm not saying the Earth is flat, but I'm just saying, why is Putin? And this is a proper official picture. Obviously, I've coloured on it and I've put some yellow hair on Putin. But Putin, in the actual photograph, is sat behind this flat Earth map. Why? I'll tell you why. I think. Obviously, all news channels have to put out biased information. For example, if the news channel is made by America, it will be making America look good. Obviously, if the news channel is made by Russia, it will be making Russia look good, and other people look wrong and bad. So it depends where the news is coming from. Every news channel has to have some bias. It has to be biased towards the people who are making it. Yes, and I know Russia has these stealth fighter, most advanced planes in the world, and backwards wings that face backwards, can't be detected by sonar. These most advanced fighter planes, beyond supersonic ones in Russia. Yes, but remember what Kevin Trudeau said. He said, the weapons never win the war. It's the people who win the war. Because it's all about it's like the David and Goliath story. David was inferior to Goliath, and his weapon was a slingshot, a toy. His weapon was inferior to Goliath's spear or whatever he had, but he still won because it's not about the weapons. The weapons don't win. Look at Vietnam. The weapons don't win the war. And I personally think, I might be wrong, I'll have to do some more research on Trump, but I think he's a bit too volatile. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with the Freemasons, and they don't worship Satan. They're not bad. My uncle is one of the heads of the Freemasonry, and he's adopted children. He's a wonderfully lovely man. They're just making lies against him. You know, everyone has the right to their own thing, religions and whatever. It's not even religion, it's like for political gain. That's the purpose of these secret societies, is for political gain and to try and control countries and things and such. Just like that Rothschild put Emmanuel Macron into being trained him up to be the French president. And he did a very good deed, that he married his school teacher. Just like Prophet Muhammad married an older woman. Yeah, peace and cool blessings upon him. French president also married an older woman, and that's good, that's lovely, that's really good. I encourage that. Yeah. So you can all talk a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, look what Kevin said about the weapons. Russia has the best weapons. Okay, that, what's he called, ping pong? Not King Jong-il. Yeah, not ping pong. He's been saying, oh, look at our weapons in North Korea. But guess what? Apparently Putin's got the best weapons in the world. Okay, I'll go through a list them out. I'll list some of them out after. But you know what Kevin Trudeau said? It's not about the weapons. Having the best weapons doesn't make you win the war. That's another mistake Putin's made. Just because he's got the best weapons in the world, which he has, he's got the most advanced stealth fighter thing. Looks like a triangle thing. Goes beyond the sonic speed barrier. Supersonic. The Hedgehog. It's quicker than the Hedgehog. He's got all these things. He can drop missiles. Yeah, he's got the best weapons. But what did Kevin say? Kevin said, the weapons don't win the war. It's the people that win the war. Look at the Vietnam. Just villagers, Viet Cong, all that, running out of the jungles, attacking the American invaders who've been invading innocent Vietnam for no reason. There's not one reason to invade Vietnam other than we can, because we're big and strong and you're weak. That's how you see them, as weak. But it got the American soldiers running for their lives as these Viet Cong came out against American soldiers with machine guns. Some of them were only armed, the Viet Cong, with toothpicks, literally. And these little things that you put in drinks, these little mojito drinks, these little umbrellas, that's all they had. And they may have been riding on unicorns and on the backs of Sasquatch as they came out valiantly to defend their country against the American invaders. Oh yes, but they had poor weaponry and they still won. So it's not always the weaponry. It's not, oh, we're the best because we think we're the best, because we keep on telling ourselves that we're the most superior country in the world. Every country says that we are the most superior country in the world. You go to any country and they'll put on the TV, on the news, whether it be in America, Germany or Russia, they'll all put on the news in their language, day in and day out, we are the most superior people, we are better than everyone else. That's a mistake, thinking you're better than everyone else. When I see someone with a flashy car or a yacht or their own private aeroplane, I just say in my head, now we're equal. Now we're equal. I see someone with a flashy car. I just say in my head, now we're equal. Now we're equal. Not that I'm better than you or you're better than me. I just say, now we're equal. I see someone with a yacht, 27-meter yacht, 200-meter yacht. I know someone with a massive, huge mega yacht. Okay, parked up in Alicante. But do you know what? Chatting away. But you know what? I just say, now we're equal. It's not about, oh, I'm better than you, you're better than me. Yeah, every single television channel in the Western countries, America and Russia and North Korea and these other countries, they do put on their TV and in the subtle messages that you are superior. Just like Hitler said to his people, we are the superior race. We are the superior country. Nationalism. We are the superior to the other people. You can't go on weapons. That's another mistake that Putin made, just because he does have the best, most advanced weapons in the world. And his planes can stay up in the air, some of them for 33 hours at a time, without needing to refuel, and they can drop any type of weapon payload from Putin's planes. The other planes can't do that. Still, he's not winning, is he? Because he's got the best weapons, like Goliath had the best strength and the best weapons, but it's not the best weapons that win the war. Look at Vietnam. Look at all these. How many times has a small tribe of unarmed, defenseless people like the Viet Cong demolished people with machine guns and much better weapons? Because it's not about the weapons. The best weapons don't win the war. So there's other mistake he's made there. Of course, the subconscious mind is affected and impressed with many things. And if you look at some good Arnold Schwarzenegger movies like Commando, he's only one man on his own. And there's nothing wrong with Americans as long as it's Arnie. And he just takes out everyone on his own with one gun. Bang! Muscle, as long as you've got the muscles. He just does it all by himself. So it just goes to prove you don't need a big army to get the job done. You don't need a big army. You don't need the biggest army. You don't need the best weapons. No, you just need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger if you want to win it all. Yeah, of course, I've had a look at Russian news channels, and just like Kim Jong-un, Ping Pong Man, what's he called? North Korea guy. Yeah, all Russian news channels, they all say that, yes, we are winning the war. Yeah, we are doing very well. Putin puts his thumbs up. Thumbs up, like this war. Yes, Russia is the best. And then a Soviet chant comes on. Da, 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 da. Soviet chant. Yes. Russia, we must crush you. I will crush you, Rocky. Anyway, he's basically propaganda on his TV. If you watched a bit of Russian TV, he's saying we're winning the war. Russia's winning the war for the Soviet Union. He's saying all that stuff on the news, and he's only giving evidence on the news of taking countries and Ukraine and easily, and he comes up with excuses, and he puts on the news such as all our Russian soldiers are fine. They're on holiday. Enjoying themselves, ravishing these young Ukrainian women, and you can do it too, but I wouldn't recommend that. No. So basically, I'm just making a point. I'm not for Russia at all. I'm just saying that on the Russian news channel, they're obviously saying that they're winning the war. And then if you look at the Western news channels like BBC, CNN, they're saying the opposite. They're saying, oh, Ukraine is winning the war. Oh, 3-0. Oh, fantastic. And there's that bloody numpty on YouTube, what's he called? Imran Hussain, political eschatologist, scientist of eschatology. He's called Imran Hussain on YouTube, and he says something like this. He says, oh, I won't put boxing gloves on you. Oh, if you want to have a boxing match, just put your boxing gloves on and I'll give you one. He's always like that. But he's saying, he's a nutter. He's saying basically that there's a hadith, a saying in the Islamic beliefs that you will in the future one day invade a very, very northern country. And he's saying, Imran Hussain, is not me, I'm not saying it, but Imran Hussain is saying on his YouTube channel, he's saying, oh, this means we should invade Russia, and he says, oh, the Christians and the Muslims, we must come together, as is foretold in the prophecy, and we must come together and invade Russia, and then what? He's full of it. Absolutely. He's just on YouTube to chat rubbish. And how does he even know the country that we're supposed to... I'm saying don't invade any country. But he's saying, oh, there's a prophecy according to his version of Islam, that the Christians and Muslims will come together in some kind of peace treaty to invade Russia. Well, I'm saying, no, that's the propaganda that Imran Hussain is spreading on his YouTube channel to many people. But I'm not saying we should invade Russia or any country, because it's no joke. Also, invading a country, just like when we like in World War II, this can affect everyone, well, many people. So it's very, 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 very important, even though I do say some things about fairies and that, which you don't believe in, but I say it for a joke. But the thing is, this is no joke, because this is very, very, very important. This message needs to get out there to as many people as it has, because it's no joke, because war, like World War II, affects everyone. You've seen the movies. If you've talked to your grandparents or anyone, you'll know, don't talk about World War II, because it's no joke. This message needs to get out as far as it has got. Thank God it has got out to the right people, because I've listened to this, what I'm saying, from my mouth, because on here recorded, because thank God, because it's so important that we get the peaceful people in as the politicians, even if they're Freemasons or not, doesn't matter, as long as they are peaceful, because look at what happened with World War II. What happened in World War II, we've got to prevent. Now is the only time to prevent it. It's within our power to prevent it, because look what happened. What happened was, Hitler said, at the time in World War II, Britain had an empire. Britain owned many colonies, other countries. A lot of Africa belonged to Britain at the time. So did India, Pakistan, India, all belonged to Britain at the time. Britain was an empire during World War II. So obviously, Britain was the largest country in World War II, one of the largest countries in World War II, because Britain owned a lot of Africa and India and blah, blah, blah. It was all part of Britain. Anyone in them countries, in Uganda, Kenya, Pakistan, India, it was all India then, they had a British passport. You were born in them days with a British passport. Therefore, you could come to live in England or Scotland for free, because England was the biggest country in them days. It was one of the biggest, if not the biggest. It was the British Empire, and Hitler said that I'm only going to World War II, based on the fact, on my personal belief, Hitler said, based on its own personal belief, that he was sure that Britain would not get involved in World War II. He was sure of that. But guess what happened? England eventually did get involved in World War II. Now, that messed up Hitler's plans greatly, because he said they would never get involved in this war between him and the surrounding countries that were surrounding Germany. Same type of things happening now. If we analyse it, it's good to analyse it, because we have a voice, and your voice counts, just like my voice has counted for so much. It's important now, because we have the ability to prevent any further war, to prevent another world war. We have the ability to prevent that with our mouths, with our tongues. Just telling people the message does count. Because let's have a look what the mistakes Hitler made and how we got dragged into World War II. Well, the key is stay out of any world war. That is the key. That is the key. But how do we stay out? We've got to de-escalate things. We've got to stay out. And we've got to keep all other countries out of it as well. Because you know what happens when one country goes into a country? It gives them other countries confidence to go into war, and this is not good. You've got to just leave them to it, because number one priority should be preventing World War III is within our power. It is, to an extent. It's a bit like saying, some glass there on the floor. Should I just let someone walk over it, or should I physically move the glass, put it down the drain, or tell people, don't stand on that glass, there's glass there. But if you don't tell them, then they can stand on the glass, get cut, and was kind of your fault for not moving the glass or not warning them about the glass. Same thing here. This is why this message is, I've put it out now. I wasn't going to put this video out. I was not going to release this video for months and months and months and months. But I've released it because it needs to be heard. And it is being heard by the right people, thank God. Because we need to prevent this thing now. Because look at I'll tell you what happened in World War II. I'll tell you in a minute what happened in World War II when I get my bearings. But the main thing is this. If everything has a spiritual cause, if you have an evil premonition, like an evil dream, a nightmare, a bad dream, or someone tells you something negative on the TV or in your own mind, it's just thoughts. Okay? Don't react to it, and do not, I'll repeat, do not believe in negative, calamitous, evil war. Don't believe it's going to happen. You must not believe it's going to happen. The reason being is it's just rumours. And you mustn't believe in it, because when you believe in certain things, it can potential to make it come true. So by not believing in nightmares and evil premonitions and negative ones, which are from the devil, which are just bad thoughts, by not believing in them, not believing that they're going to happen, can prevent them from happening. It's all the law of attraction. But if you have a positive dream of world peace, and you visualize that, and you have an emotional reaction to that, and you think it's going to happen, then by all means believe in it. It's like that woman, what's she called? Majority of people who ever became famous actors, I've been researching their biographies, and as far as I've researched so far, the majority of them became famous actors, Hollywood actors, British actors, because after they went to a fortune teller. Even the guy who, that woman, what's she called? O'Hara, from Ireland. She did a movie with John Wayne, and she says in a biography, she says that she didn't have a job or something, and she went to a fortune teller, and the fortune teller says you're going to become famous. As soon as she believed it, it started to come true. So what you believe starts to come true. So if you start believing in evil things, negative dreams, negative thoughts, if you start believing in war and evil things, that's trying to make them come true. Whereas if you believe in the opposite, you only believe that good things are going to happen to you and other people, to you, to me, and to everyone, only good things are going to happen, and that starts to make them come true. It comes down to that scientific experiment. That scientific experiment where they had basically like I can't remember what it was, an atom or some kind of particle, and what the scientists believed the particle was going to be, it was. I can't remember what that experiment's called. You've all seen The Secret, haven't you, or something on Netflix, or Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command on YouTube. You've all seen them type of videos, or The Secret, haven't you? Yeah, or books by, I don't know, Maxwell Maltz or Richard Allen or Claude Bristol or someone, Kevin Trudeau, or what's his face, all these law of attraction people, Bob Proctor, all these law of attraction teachers, Joseph Ally, and all these law of attraction teachers, what they're teaching is, basically, the law of attraction is that if you believe that you're going to get something, or something's going to happen to you, if you believe it and keep on believing it and keep on believing it, and you're certain about it's going to happen to you, then you're drawing that experience in, day by day, month by month, until it will happen to you, most likely. That's why when people believe evil things are going to happen to countries or the world, and you keep on believing them evil things are going to happen, and you're sure they're going to happen, and you keep on believing it for months and months and months and months, you're pulling them particles in to make it happen. So don't believe that calamitous things are going to happen, neither to me, nor to you, nor to any country. Only believe that good things are going to happen, and that everyone's going to just believe, if you can, that all countries are going to be at peace with each other, and there's going to be world peace, and there is world peace, or there's going to be world peace. Just believe there's going to happen, and believe that me and you and everyone's going to have a good, happy life where we're going to enjoy our lives and we're all going to be kind and good. Just believe positive things. Keep on believing them for months and months on end, without doubt, with certainty. When you believe something's going to happen, something good or bad, when you believe something good's going to happen to you, with certainty, for months and months, then it usually does happen. And that's the law of, that's how particles work, because particles, that's how it works, the law of attraction. And another way of saying that very same scientific thing, another way of saying that from a religious point of view, if anyone's a Christian, Jew or Muslim or anyone, another way of saying that is that what you expect from God, he gives you. What you expect to receive from the Jews or Muslims or Christians would say, what you expect from God, Allah, whatever, the unlimited power, is what you get. What you expect with certainty, consistent over months and months, you expect to achieve or happen to you. That's God gives you what you expect. That's what they would say. It's the same thing as law of attraction. Whether you believe in good things going to happen to you or evil, you keep on believing it for months and months with certainty. It does, because you're getting what you expect from God or from wherever. So basically that's the ball game with particles and all that stuff. So you got to be careful, because this Imran Hussain on his channel, Islamic Eschatology, he's what's he called? His channel, his YouTube channel is called, I think it's called Imran Hussain, and he's such a joker, and he doesn't realise he's promoting war with Russia, and you can't be doing that, because okay, he's a very clever guy, and he's like he worked for the American government or MIT, or I can't remember who he worked for, but yeah, he's a high-ranking level guy, but he needs to know, even Hillary Clinton, she's supposed to be a 33-degree Freemason, all respects to her, because Freemasonry, what the Freemasons teach is the law of attraction, how to use it. I've just told you how to use it. You don't have to become a 33-degree level Freemason, or a member of the Brotherhood, or a member of the, whatever it's called, or a member of the golf club, or a member of Oxford or Cambridge, or a member of any of these secret societies, in order to understand and apply the law of attraction. I've just explained it to you. The law of attraction in its most basic, one of its most basic forms, so but even Hillary Clinton, she's misused. She's supposed to be the expert at using the law of attraction, but she misused it, and she let Donald Trump win, because she misused it, because she's supposed to be a well-educated member. All secret societies teach the law of attraction to a high level of detail. And all secret societies, whether it's Skull and Bones, whether it be the Skull and Bones or the Young President's Club or Bohemian Grove or the Freemasons or any of these secret societies, they all teach the law of attraction. The main job of all these secret societies, at the upper levels of them secret societies, is to try and manipulate the law of attraction, the law of you expect what you get consistently, that you definitely believe is going to happen over months and months. It usually does happen. That's the law of attraction. That's what they're teaching at higher levels, and they're also doing networking, just like Global Information Network is a secret society as well, but it's for the public to join. It just gets you to meet millionaires if you join. If you work your way up in any secret society, you get to meet millionaires and people and or billionaires, and you get to do dealings with them, or you get to make friendships with them, and you get connections with the right people, with presidents and all kinds of people. You get to network with the most elite people, such as presidents, billionaires, millionaires, and also with broke people. But there are millionaires and that in secret society clubs. And the purpose of secret society clubs is to mainly network with other influential people. Just like the Global Information Network is a secret society, and it does this, so does the Skull and Bones, so does the Young President's Club, so does the So the all secret societies, this is the purpose of all secret societies, to improve your life, to improve your worldly life, not to improve your next life, but to improve this life. That is the purpose of all secret societies. And of course, you can use the law of attraction to say thank you that I have imaginational control, to control your thinking more and have more good thoughts and do more good deeds. You can use the law of attraction for this as well, yes. So another word for the law of attraction could be correct thinking, or having control over your thoughts and thinking is also called the law of attraction. So the law of attraction is just one terminology. There's many terminologies for this law of attraction. Another word for the law of attraction that Jews, Christians or Muslims use, they don't call it the law of attraction. They call it the law of what you consistently expect to happen to you or to receive from God, you get. If you have what's it called? If you have belief. What's the word? Certainty. So the biggest mistake that we're gonna prevent now, by listening to this, you are changing the way you think. If you want to change the way you think, or you are, even if you don't agree with me, we can agree to disagree. But we are coming to some minor agreements that are very important, that affect the entire world, because in World War II, this is very, 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 the crux of all this now is very important. In World War II, the other people, all the other countries, many of them said, oh, we'll just attack Hitler. We'll join the war. Little did they know, they fought in their thinking. Remember the law of attraction. Another word for the law of attraction is correct thinking, or farsightedness, or accurate thinking, or another word for law of attraction is good thinking positive and good, correct thinking. And what they did, they made a big mistake by saying, the other countries around Germany, they made a big mistake by saying that, oh, if we all join together and attack Hitler in World War II, bit similar like now. It's a bit different now, but I hope they've learned a lesson to not just rush in and try and kill Putin. It sounds like a good idea, but it's not. Because look, everyone fought in World War II that sillily, because they used the thinking incorrectly, they thought it would be a piece of cake. They fought in World War II, all these other countries could just join the war and then assassinate Hitler, as if it was going to be taking candy from a baby, as if they could just get a sniper rifle and shoot Hitler. But we've learned from history. I hope you've learned from history. That's why I'm repeating and repeating and repeating and reminding you and reminding you and reminding you. Remind as many people as possible, because the reminder is useful, because people do forget. And that's when they make stupid decisions or silly decisions, when they forget. So you got to keep reminding them. Remind them, to stay out of war, because look what happened in World War II. All the countries around Germany said, oh, we'll just join the war and our sheer numbers, and we'll just like kill Hitler, and World War II will be over. Yeah, that didn't happen though, did it? They joined the war, yeah, a lot of them, World War II, but then they kept on battling Hitler for 4 years and spilling their guts on the beaches of Normandy and everywhere. For what? We don't want to spill our guts. We don't want our legs and arms being blown off, do we? We don't want to get into World War with Putin. We don't want to be sent from our country, whatever your country you're in. You don't want to be sent from your country and have your head or legs blown off and see all your friends, many of your friends' arms and legs or stomachs blown wide open, like in that Steven Spielberg movie. Why do you think Steven Spielberg is a very good Jew? Jews are not all bad. He's a good Jew. I'll tell you one thing. He made the movies like Saving Private Ryan and all them other ones for a good reason. He made them with a good heart, good intention, that respect all faiths, that he's making this to make you realize that war is not glamorous, that we should do whatever we can now, even if it's just sharing this message and getting people to remind them about this message is the message of preventing war. That's the message of Conspiracy Club on this video, is to prevent the war. And I'm telling you, both law of attraction ways to prevent the war, to pray against war, to pray for world peace, and to actually physically remind people of this very message, and to warn people about those people like Imran Hussain who want war with Russia. I've got to warn you, he might be a very good scholar, that Imran Hussain. Don't get me wrong, he's a very good in most of what he says. But when he says, I'll tell you what he says. This particular upload, this particular chat, is more really for the fact that God save you and me and our politicians from hasty, stupid decisions, and make them remind them, keep on reminding them of the mistakes of World War II. That God prevent such mistakes, save us, because it's no joke. Look at them Steven Spielberg movies. People having their guts, intestines shot out, arms blown off. You don't want that, whatever country you're living in. We don't want that, so let's avoid. God prevent such war. World War II was the very last one of those evil, stupid, foolish mistakes, decisions. God save us evermore from such evil. So that's why we've got to keep on reminding everyone. This basically messages that I've left in this video. This is the only video you need to know on how to keep on telling people and sharing. You don't even have to share this video, just tell them verbally what this video says. You don't have to say Conspiracy Club told you this. No, I don't care for the publicity at the minute. Not with this particular video. This is more important than just getting a few likes and a few stupid views and likes. How many views? I don't care if this gets 1 million views. I'm not cared about that. Or 1 million likes. I don't care. It's the fact of the matter is, however poor, however broke you think, not poor, but however broke you think your life is, or however unfulfilled or incomplete you think or feel your life is at the minute, it would be much, 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 much worse if you was in World War, like World War II. So yeah, we've got to stay out of war and keep on telling people every day and keep on praying for world peace every day that you want to. Just, it does, it's important, because we don't want to be in a Steven Spielberg movie. That's the last thing we want, is to be on the beaches of Russia, freezing cold country, getting shot at, or, you can't even go in a physical fight and do well. You can't even fight a bear. Do you know when a bear fights a lion or a tiger? In Russia, there are tigers, Siberian tigers, the biggest in the world, and there are bears and Sasquatch apparently in the Siberia and Russia, and you can't even fight them unarmed. So how do you think you're going to fight all these Russian people? You're not going to win against Russia. So best thing is, just tell people you can't win against Russia. Tell the politicians you can't win against Russia. Don't repeat World War II. Avoid it. And I'm sure all the politicians, thank God that we didn't live in World War II. Thank God. However unfulfilled our lives might be, we've still got hope. But there's no hope, because when you can't go to war. Got to prevent it with your tongue. Just tell them. Just tell anyone to prevent it. Verbally, get into the habit almost daily of just saying these words to the nearest effect. Just practice rehearsing, telling people these words to the nearest effect, that we can't go to war with Russia, because when all the countries joined in with World War II, thinking that they could just assassinate Hitler, what happened there? No one just shot him with a sniper rifle, did it? and ended World War II. They thought they could. So they sent in all these different countries and started joining in the war as if it was some kind of circus, some kind of fun and games. And you didn't kill Hitler for 4 years or more. So, and what happened in the meantime? Look at Steven Spielberg. Just tell someone this. Do you really want all your friends and family and yourself to be in a Steven Spielberg movie, like Saving Ryan's Private, and going on the beaches of Normandy or in Russia and getting blown to smithereens? Do you really want that? No, you don't. No, you don't. Not for glory, not for anyone. No, you don't. You can't face it. You can't do it. So you have to tell this message. I'm sorry if my voice is not stern and commanding enough, but you have to prevent the war. Have to prevent it. God knows if there's going to be a war, but let's prevent it in our lifetimes. Prevent it at least. Have a life. You know, you might not have a job at the minute, but be thankful for any money you do have. Thankful that you are surviving. Thankful that you and your country has peaceful leaders that prevent war and stay out of it. You know, that's what we need. Because this is no joke. Better it would have been in World War II if all the other countries didn't join in with the war and they just got some secret James Bond guy to sniper rifle on his own and kill Hitler. Would have been the best thing. But no, you don't need to send all kinds of millions of people from all different countries into war to human slaughter them, slaughtering them worse than animals. You've seen them movies, World War II movies, the Sea Wolves and all that. You've seen how gory these movies are. You can't go through that. You can't experience that. You know, you can't put your mother through all this. So you got to verbally prevent this war. You know, you don't have to mention this video or this channel. You can do if you want. I don't care. You've just got to verbally, tell people and remind them that it didn't work with Hitler, so it ain't going to work now. So yeah, ideally, we just need one person like James Bond, because James Bond is based off real stories, most of them, not the recent rubbish ones, but you know, the old James Bond stories based off wartime espionage secrets. You just need one person. It only takes one person to sniper that Adolf Hitler type person. It only takes one good prayer to make it happen as well. And, you know, you don't need World War III. You don't want it. You think you want it. Oh, it's going to be glorious. You're going to get a medal. No, it's not going to be glorious. You're going to go to hell. So let's go to paradise, not to hell. And I know paradise is a physical place above the world, or whatever you believe it is, but let's face facts. We can have paradise in this world as well. You know, a lot of people are waiting for paradise in the next world. Well, guess what? And just following their stupid religious teachings, even though the religious teachings are all construed, you've got to have peace. It's priority in life. If you're going to have any chance of being successful in life, you've got to have peace. In life, there are always one person is more special than a million people. Never forget that. One person can always do what a million people can't ever do. I'll give you examples. One person, maybe on the earth, might have been able to go up to Hitler, if he wasn't officially in a war with Hitler, and just kill Hitler. Then and there. He could have achieved that. Only one special person could have achieved that, like James Bond or someone. But on the other hand, sending millions of people from England and America and all these different countries and Europe to fight against Hitler in World War II didn't do Hitler any harm, didn't kill Hitler, didn't shoot Hitler, not once. So it just goes to prove that sending in more people to the deaths, horrible deaths, is not the answer. It's historically proven to not be the answer. And I'm glad all the British politicians, they know this lesson, because they studied World War II and they all know this. They all know what I'm saying on here. is they all believe in what I'm saying on here. Every British politician believes in what I'm saying on here. Every potential British politician believes what I'm saying on here. Thank God for that, because they all know about the things of World War II. It's just a fact. It's a fact that millions of people cannot do what one man can do. One man could sniper or kill Hitler if he wasn't in a war with him. He could get close enough. But you can't join the war, because as soon as you join the war, you can't get close enough to the Hitler figure to kill him. So you must stay out of the war. If you want to win the war, you've got to stay out of the war. End of story. And just keep on praying for peace. And you don't have to like this video, because this video isn't for likes. This video is just to totally prevent World War, basically. That's the only reason I've made this video. Is, that's what it's all about. It's very important, this video. Usually all my videos are just for entertainment purposes only, but this one is the only one that has actual practical use of preventing the war. And just be grateful and thankful that our leaders and our countries have learnt the lessons from World War II, and that, thank God. So enjoy your night, listen to some other entertaining videos, and keep on verbally preventing wars. Say if there's a lighter in your house that could start a fire, and you have an evil premonition about that lighter, you have an evil emotion about that lighter, all you could do is pick that lighter up and destroy it and put it in the bin or throw it out, and you could prevent so many things. It's like the glass on the floor. The glass on the floor or the glass in your house, you can prevent it. You can move the glass aside, or you can warn people there's glass there, or you can educate the people, don't stand on the glass, or you can educate a child, don't put your hand in the fire. You gotta keep on educating the people, keep on reminding them, even when this, especially keep on reminding them. Don't stop reminding them of why it didn't work in World War II. Don't stop reminding them of what you've learned, what you've been reminded. You didn't learn anything today, but you've been reminded of the solutions today. So you keep on reminding the people. Just keep on reminding them of what works and what doesn't. Because we've seen from World War II, everyone's seen it, that sending all these other countries in to fight Hitler in World War II didn't help in at all. Much better is if no one joined into World War II and someone just went in there and sniped Hitler secretly and took him out. That would be the best thing. So only a special prayer could do this. So keep on reminding the people. And God bless you. And now you deserve to watch a nice entertaining video. I recommend either one of mine or another YouTuber's entertaining videos. Go and watch them now. Thank you. God bless you. Good save you. And I'll just shortly add the fact that I knew a woman, and that for many years she said in private before she went to bed, she looked up to the stars before she went to bed, and she didn't tell me this till many years later. Every night when she went to bed, she looked up at the stars and she said to the unlimited power, the thing without an image, the whatever you call it, the power, the unlimited power, she called it God. She said, God, what do you want me to be? Not what I want to be. What do you want me to be? And she said that for 2 or 3 years. 2 years every night she said it in secret. What do you want me to be? So, and she did get she left after 2 years. Her request came true, and she was actually taken from this world, and she was actually physically taken into another world, a physical different world. It was like out of body experience, and it was fantastic. It was more real than this world as well. And I might share that. If people want me to share that video, if I get enough likes on my other videos, might as well make a video on that. The woman who actually went to another world. And that's how she got there. She just said every night, what do you want me to be? Not what I want to be. What do you want me to be? She talked to God every night, and before she went to sleep for 2 years, she said, God, what do you want me to be, do, have? So for all those people who look up to the sky and say, if there is a God, what do you want me to be, do? Just, it's always handy, even if you're atheist or Buddhist or Hindu or Sikh or evolutionist or Tony Blair, whoever you are, whatever you are, it's always handy every night to make a habit before you go to sleep. It's just a suggestion. You might not want to do it. But if you do want to do it, it's just a little thing, a technique that you can do that works for this woman. She did it for 2 years and then she left her body and she went to another world, much more real than this world. And all she did for 2 years every night in secret, she said, she looked up and said, if there's a God, if there is a God, she looked up and said, what do you want me to be? That's it. What do you want me to be? You can do it too. You're doing it too. Sorry, the actual word she actually said was, show me what you want me to be. And this is very important. She did this every night for 2 years before she went to sleep. Now, whether she was talking to God, or whether she was talking to her own self, or whether she was just giving her subconscious mind a question. What do you... No, sorry. She said, show me. What do you want me to be? Do. Make it very clear. She said that every single night. And we've just seen all these politicians, like in Britain. Anytime a politician in Britain or America, what did he do? They all say, in God I trust. They all say, every politician I've ever known in England, in Britain, they've all believed in God or some, unlimited power. I'm not saying that you have to believe in this unlimited power, but what I'm saying is they all have, and they all believe in their heart of hearts, if you listen to them, because when anyone becomes the Prime Minister in England, or when they give a speech, they all mention God, and they've been praying for answers and results. Well, this is a type of saying. It's not really a prayer, but it's more like a type of command that you give to your subconscious mind before you go to sleep. And you're basically saying, you're basically giving your... And when you make this command every night before you go to sleep, show me what you want me to be, do, have. When you make that command every night, you're actually marinating. Whilst you go to sleep, your conscious mind is going to sleep. Your subconscious mind is coming up with solutions and is working on ways to answer that question that you give it before you go to sleep. So just by saying, especially if you're a leader of a country or a leader, it's very, very, very important to give yourself this type of question before you go to sleep at night times on a regular basis for at least for 2 years. Every politician that I know, and I do know MPs and politicians. I'm a good friend with some politicians and MPs, and they should all, or most of them, do pray at night. But or another word for it doesn't have to be a prayer. It could be a question. You give yourself a question before you go to sleep, and a great question you can give yourself. Practice giving yourself for up to 2 years every night can be, show me what do you want me to be, do, have. That is a great one, because even if you're not talking to God, even if you're just talking to yourself, when you go to sleep and your conscious mind has gone to sleep, your subconscious mind will start answering that question. What do you want me to be, do? And it'll start generating you solutions. It should do. Try it. And I'm sure we've all heard the story or the joke some people take as literal, where the devil came round and appeared to various politicians. You've all heard the story of some people calling forth this thing and this ghostly apparition of a woman in the white dress appearing through the walls in the White House and giving the people in the White House commands of how to run the country from spirits. Now, if you don't believe in spirits, let's just take it as a joke. But I'm sure you've also all heard of the, if not from here, from somewhere, I'm sure you've all heard of the story or the joke of when the devil went round. Well, some people take it as literal, but I'm sure you don't have to. But they say the devil went round to Putin into his office and told him to do this, and this war strategies. And Putin said to him, "No, I do my own moves. I don't listen to you." So Putin don't listen to no one. So even he should be saying at night time, "Show me what you want me to be." Peace be upon everyone. You stay classy, my companions. And remember, when this world is better for you, it's better for me. We share the world. So, good night, and God bless. You stay classy, my friend. And why? P.S. Why is Putin sat deliberately behind a map of the flat Earth? I think it's because he believes in it. I think he believes in conspiracies. I think he is an original nutter. I think, no offence to him, in case he wins, but, no offence to the guy, why is he sat behind a flat Earth map? Very strange. And why is the UN flag a picture of the flat Earth on the UN flags? Why? There must be some kind of conspiracy here. So to find out, we'll find out next time a little bit more. And I'm not saying that I believe in the flat Earth or the round Earth. I don't care what shape the world is. I'm beyond that. I've elevated myself beyond that. I'm saying Putin believes in it. So what else does he believe? We might find out later. I might reveal more of the puzzle next time. A little bit more. We also know that anyone who has ever made a decision, at the time they made the decision, they believed that that decision was the right thing to do. Hitler believed he was doing the right thing, the good deed. So, like Sean Stoney Stoner says on Russian TV, Sean Stone says, question everything.